In this situation, nobody's going to abuse your rights as a patient, especially in a patient-doctor relationship.
If they do, just kick them in the head,
Fucking slap them,
or lawsuit them.
What's going on, guys? Matt and Greg here with Project Unbroken, and today we want to talk about Suboxone and Methadone and pregnancy, and some important things that we think you should keep in mind if you're finding yourself in this situation. Recently, we had a kind of back and forth with a woman who was getting Suboxone on the black market off the street off of somebody she knew, and she messaged us because she was really concerned about her pregnancy, about the health of her unborn baby, what steps she should take to move forward. And the first thing Greg and I said were, you need to talk to your doctor about this, like right away without a question. And it was a concern for her because she thought that she could possibly get into trouble, that the doctor could contact the authorities. We want everybody out there to know right off the bat that that's absolutely not the case. Everybody out there is protected under the HIPAA Act, which basically is a privacy act saying your doctor cannot take any information that you disclose to them and tell anybody about it. They can't tell your significant other, they can't tell your mom, your dad, the authorities, nobody. They can't break it. It's a law, and your privacy is protected. So before we get any further with this video, please understand that if you're in a situation like this and you need to talk to a doctor, you want to talk to a doctor, don't feel like you can get in any trouble because of having that conversation. It's just not the case.
Or you're going to get caught using it. Like her family, no one knew she was taking it, so she didn't want her family to find out. She didn't want to be judged by her doctor. She thought her doctor would kind of look at her funny. Trust me, the doctors have seen it all.
They've seen everything.
And you have to put the health of that baby above everything else, including your, what would you call that? Your
pride.
Or
whatever.
Your pride, right.
And, even if there's not pregnancy involved and you're just worried about somebody in your family finding out or whatever it is, your doctor can't say anything to anybody. So just keep that in mind. But this conversation, it kind of caught me off guard. This is one of the, we've been doing this now for a little bit over a year, and we get a lot of people that email us or comment. They're looking for advice in certain ways to go in certain decision-making processes, asking us what we would do. This one by far it struck me as the most important.
Well, here's the thing. So we get a lot of comments, and people comment on our videos and they say, you guys have no right to be giving advice on something, like giving advice on how to get off methadone, because you're not a doctor, right? You're exactly right, we're not a doctor. But let me compare this to something. If you're trying to build a business, are you going to learn from someone who has built a multi-million-dollar business or multi-billion-dollar business, or do you want to learn from someone who's just read books about it and is teaching it at a college course? If it's me, I want to learn from the person who has actually done it, right? So that's my argument to those people who comment that is we have the experience, a lot of these doctors don't. Now on this issue, it's a little different. I don't think we're the right source for this issue to ask advice on because we don't have the medical know-how for this topic. Doctors have studied the effects on babies, and they know what happens when you stop right away, they know what happens if you continue to use, and they have the best advice for you on what to do when you're taking Suboxone and you're pregnant. I think we have great advice for you on setting goals, reaching goals, getting off Suboxone, getting off heroin, overcoming struggle in life. I think we're a great go-to for that. A doctor needs to be seen for a medical situation like this.
Absolutely. And, this, luckily, we just kind of got some feedback from this person the other day, and she took our advice, she went to her doctor, and she was relieved because she said the doctor was very kind, he was super understanding, and he ended up hooking her up with a Suboxone doctor so she can get a reliable prescription instead of trying to get these drugs off the street. As we all know, it can be very unreliable. Your source can dry up at any moment, and then you're going to be dealing with withdrawal symptoms, and that is real serious. Withdrawal symptoms, just from our basic understanding, again, we're not trying to relay any advice here, but can lead to miscarriage. It can really be an issue when it comes to pregnancy. So again, no matter where you're at, you definitely want to talk to a doctor about these issues, and don't be afraid. Again, like Greg said, doctors have seen everything you know, from things that are, you know, where you're at to situations that are much, much worse. Like, don't be ashamed about anything that you're doing right now.
I'm just thinking of the type of things that doctors have probably seen.
Oh, God.
Just in different areas, and they've seen everything.
They've seen it all.
Don't be embarrassed.
No.
And look, the other thing is, again, Matt and I always speak from experience. I've never been pregnant. You ever been pregnant?
No.
Matt's never been pregnant. We can't speak on that because we've never been pregnant. We don't know from experience. We speak from experience. So make sure you see a doctor as soon as you can on that issue.
And I mean, some places we can speak from, you know, we have been in situations where, you know, we've worked with counselors and clinics, and they were very understanding. And, you know, we're at a point in our lives in, you know, recovery where we feel really good talking about it. I'm not embarrassed about what I've been through, but I do remember when I was in my addiction, when I was on Suboxone, I was petrified about somebody finding out. So it's very understanding if, you know, you find yourself and you're pregnant, and there can be a lot of stigmas attached to addiction and all that stuff. But just understand that it really can be a life or death situation. And even if you are concerned about what other people think about you, fuck them. You know, take care of yourself. If you're pregnant, take care of your baby. If people are going to judge you, they're going to judge you. But in this situation, nobody's going to abuse your rights as a patient, especially in a patient-doctor relationship.
If they do, just kick them in the head.
Fucking slap them.
Or lawsuit them.
Yeah.
But for real, they're good. You're good there. They're going to keep it private, and everything will be good. But you've got to see a doctor as soon as you can. Try not to change up anything too much until you see a doctor, and then the doctor will give you the proper advice.
Yeah, absolutely. So if anybody's out there and you're dealing with this situation, just keep in mind there are avenues for you to take, and you can get help and you can get some direction. Again, we really love everybody that contacts us. They're like, hey, what should I do here? And some stuff is in our scope, but this is something you definitely want to consult with your physician about, or a doctor. And again, just don't worry about it. Your secret or whatever, your privacy is safe with them, and under the law, they cannot betray that.
Yeah, but super happy for the girl that reached out to us. Glad she went and saw a doctor. She's now good. She's relieved. She's on the right track. The doctor has her seeing a Suboxone doctor, and he's giving her proper advice on what to do.
Guys, click this video right here if you want to find out some more about my experience with Suboxone, or we'll post one with Greg's experience with methadone. But click those links. It'll just dive a little bit deeper into what that was like for us.
Hope y'all enjoyed this. See y'all soon.